it's kind of a before and after story. So I'm here right now, I'm in Theatron, I go to Harding University, and I'm a vocal music education major. I've talked to some of you about it, I want to be a choir teacher, and I am happier now this year than I have ever been in my whole life. It's been a wonderful year, and I'm so blessed, and I feel like I'm in a good place with God, and with my family, and I'm just really, really happy. So that's where I am now. Remember that, keep that in your head. We're gonna go back to when I was in high school, when I first got into high school and I was in 9th grade. So, I'm the youngest of 3 siblings. So, my brother and my sister both went to high school before I did. And they both told me about this choir teacher who was at the high school. And they said, he is wonderful, he loves to teach us, and he is incredible, and our choirs sound amazing, and you're gonna have so much fun. And I was like, that's gonna be my life. Now, are any of you planners? Like you plan everything, you know every step of your life, you already know what you're gonna do, every single step. Because I'm exactly like that. I always have to know what's coming next. I plan everything. I know what's gonna happen 10 years from today, exactly. Maybe not that specific, but I do like to plan everything. So when I was in high school, I was like, okay, here's what's gonna happen. 9th grade, I'm gonna get into choir. And then 10th grade, they're gonna see how talented I am, and I'm gonna get into the best choir my 2nd year of high school. And I'm gonna become best friends with the teacher, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna get all the solos, and it's gonna be perfect. And when I got to high school, it was like that. The first year, I really got to know the teacher well, and he was just as incredible as they told me he was. And the 2nd year, I was in women's choir, and I got a lot of solos, and it was incredible. Until the very end of the year, and the teacher told us, hey, by the way, I'm leaving. I am going to a different school. And my world went poof. I was like, all my plans, they're gone. I can't get into the best choir now because there will be none, and everything that I dreamed of, everything that I knew was gonna happen has just disappeared. And I'm like, well, that's it for me. I have no more future. I told my parents, I'm like, let's just move to a different school. Because the teacher, the only reason that I was at high school in general, the only reason I wanted to go to school every day was gone. So I was really, really upset and mad. The next year, we got a teacher. She was from the elementary school, from a different school, and she was pretty nice. But instantly everyone hated her because the old teacher was so incredible, and she just waltzed in there and took his job, and we were like, no, this lady can't take Mr. Nims's job. He is incredible, and you're not that great. And everybody was just not happy with this new teacher. And so she came in with a positive attitude, but after school, all the kids would say, that's not how Mr. Nims would do it. You're not that good of a teacher. And they would say these things to her face. And everybody instantly started getting more and more negative, to the point where you could see that she was visibly upset at the things that the students were saying about her, and were saying to her face. And so every day we would go to school, and all the kids would be negative, and just consistent negativity saying, you're not good enough, that's not how he did it, you're not my teacher, I don't like you very much, I don't want to be taught by you, I'm not going to respect you. And she was just crushed. And so that put me in a position, because I kind of liked her, but I was like, well, who am I to be the one person who's a positive person when every single other person is really negative? Who am I to be like, oh, no, she's okay? Because everybody else was like, no, she's awful. That's kind of a hard situation to be in. So when I was a junior in high school, I made the decision that I was going to be just as negative as those other people. So we would all sit together and talk about how much we hated her, and I would join them, and I would say really mean things. Or we would all be really negative and talk about how much we didn't want to be in choir anymore, or how much we didn't want to participate, and I would join them, because I didn't want to be different. I didn't want to be a person who looked different to everybody else. I was too shy, I was not confident enough. And that went on for a really long time. I was not happy, and I was grumpy all the time, because the one thing that I look forward to, my one passion, I know a lot of you have different sports or activities that that's the reason that you go to school, or that's the reason you stay after school for extracurricular things, that one thing. And that was my one thing, and it made me really unhappy and unpleasant. And I just wasn't really living my life at all the way God wanted me to because I was not nice at all. And I was mean to this teacher, and I was mean around the students around me because I was in with this negativity. Then one day I went home and my parents were there and they said, Lizzy, let's talk for a second, because you are not the Lizzy that we know. They're like, you are negative and you are grumpy and you're not energetic or happy like you usually are. You're just really, really negative. What's going on? And then I started telling them everything that was happening at school, and I was just upset that the old teacher was gone, and I was upset that I hated walking into choir every day because there was so much negativity and anger going on in the classroom. And my parents were like, Lizzy, you're not being the light of the world. You guys know the song, This Little Light of Mine? I'm gonna let it shine. I wasn't letting my light shine. I wasn't doing that at all. And I was like, you're right, but I don't really want to be the one person who's different than everyone else. That's hard, guys, to be the one light and letting it shine in a room full of darkness. Because when you're shining your light, guess what everyone can see? You. They can see you anywhere in a dark room. If all the lights were off and I just had one light on, you'd be able to see me pretty well. And I didn't want to stand out like that. Not at all. That's super scary. And so I was like, Mom, Dad, I don't know. I don't really want to stand out like that. I don't want to be the one positive person. I do like this teacher, but I don't want to be the person who says that out loud because everyone else is so mean about her. And they said, Lizzy, you are not truly following God. You are not truly trusting in God if you go to school every day and are negative just like these other kids. And I said, you know what? You're right. So I prayed a lot that night, and I said, I'm going to make the conscious decision to be nice to her today and to not say one negative thing. So I walked into school that day, and, kids were there, and they're like, oh, another day of choir, oh boy, this teacher's awful. And I was just kind of like, well, maybe she has something good planned for today. And I would just walk away. And then that day, after class, I stayed, and I helped the teacher put the books away. And she sat there with me, and she goes, thank you. That's really kind. I've been having a really rough past couple of days because the students are really mean to me. And I'm like, I've noticed that. I'm really sorry. I haven't really been helping out with that at all. And she said, it's okay, you're helping me now. Every day after school, I started to stay with my choir teacher, and I would talk to her about teaching, about life, and about the other students and how I can be positive. And every day I got a little more happy, every single day. And people started to notice me, which was so scary. I was like, no, I know I'm happy and positive, but no, you can be negative over there. I'm just not going to join you. But no, they started to notice me, and they said, wait, no, I like her too. I was just too scared to be different. And then they joined me. And then there were 2 people that were happy and positive while the rest were negative. And then there were 3 and 4 and 5. And all of a sudden, there was a bunch of positive people, and all it took was just me deciding, making the conscious decision to be different than everyone else. And then the other people started to see that and said, oh no, I want to enjoy choir class too. Let's all be positive. And just this change happened in that class. And in all the classes that I was in several different choir classes, and the change happened. So then, that was the end of that year. The next year happened. It was my senior year of high school. And Miss Bauer did something that the last teacher never did. She made me her student teacher, which means that I was in every single choir class that was offered. I was in 5 different choirs, and I taught 3 of them. I helped her teach 3 of them, so I would lead warm-ups, and I would help them with their songs. I would help them with parts they're struggling with, and I would come home every day and be like, Mom, you'll never guess what. The kids learned this today, and I did this different warm-up, and they loved it. And my mom looked at me and said, Lizzy, I think you want to be a teacher. And I'm like, I think you're right. And I had never thought of that. And so I was like, okay, sure. I'll go ahead and apply for colleges as a music teacher. I went to a bunch of different colleges and applied for all the different kinds of them, and then Harding University gave me a lot of money for my voice for being a choir teacher. So I'll brainstorm here the turn of events. So start out Mr. Nims, good teacher. Go to Miss Bauer, negativity. Then go to me being positive, me being made student teacher, and then me being at Harding, me being a vocal major, me being here, because I got into Theatron, because I went to Harding, because I got the scholarship, because I was positive. Do we see what's happening here? Do we see that that was God in my life? That wasn't me just deciding, oh yeah, no, sure, I'll be positive. That was God saying, Lizzy, this is what I want you to do, because wait, you'll see what happens. Lizzy, follow me. Lizzy, listen to what I'm saying. Lizzy, follow the Bible. See what happens. And he turned my world upside down. If you asked me when I was a junior in high school what I thought I was going to be when I was a sophomore in college, I would not have thought I would be here. And I would be in Theatron and super happy and teaching music and learning more about how to teach people. Because I never thought I would want to be here, and I never would have known that I want to be here, except for when I made the conscious decision to be different. Now, the lesson out of this, sometimes the people who are the most fearless looking are the most afraid. Sometimes the people who look the most confident are the ones who have no confidence, because there's one little thing that connects those people, and it's trust in God. If you guys trust in God completely and trust that He has a plan for you and trust that He's going to take over your life if you decide to listen to Him, it'll be so worth it in the end. You can grow up to be something you never thought you would have been. You could be happier than you ever thought you would have been. All because you make the conscious decision to say, you know what, God, I'm going to stand out. I'm going to be different. I'm going to be fearless because I trust in you. That is what makes the difference. That is what makes you happy. That's what turns your life around. Believe me, it's hard, but believe me, it's worth it. Thank you.
Let's give Lizzy another big round of applause. Thank God for how He worked through